What's up, guys? This is your SoCal fishing forecast for Thursday, October 14th. We got some good news finally. The CCA group has been working on this for a while, but we finally got Newsom to do something for fishing for once, and finally sign into the yearly annual fishing license. So if you buy your fishing license, an annual one, it's good for 1 year from the date that you purchased it, instead of just automatically expiring on January 1st. Not a huge deal, but a small victory. At least we got something going on. Next up is the oil spill situation. It appears to be much better than what was originally thought. However, they still closed off a big chunk of our inner fishery here, including on the local banks. This includes the 14-mile bank, 267, and stretches out pretty close to the 209. And we're going up here from Alamitos Bay all the way down to San Onofre, and they've essentially closed this fishery, and that includes lobster. So, why is it still closed? Allegedly, they are still confirming or denying any more fishery or wildlife damage. None was found over the weekend. With all that wind, whatever oil slicks that were out there definitely ended up on the beach, and there were some teams working the last couple of days, and only a little bit of tar balls were found in San Diego County and a little bit over in Doheny, but nothing really significant. No more dead wildlife, anything like that. So I think they're trying to assess the fishery stocks and make sure that they're healthy, but we haven't really seen any more dead fish on the beach either. So to me, it kind of sounds like they should reopen this year pretty quickly, but we'll see what happens. I know the commercial lobstermen are pretty bummed. There's some pretty good areas along the coast here to be fishing for lobster, and they're not fishing for them at the moment. So we'll see what happens. Another Newsom maneuver has now banned gas-powered lawnmowers, leaf blowers, and basically any solid small motor equipment needs to be zero emission. Now they say landscape, but this is really just a blanket thing because this included golf carts too. And unfortunately, it's moves like this that show that they're increasing the tightness on carb regulation in California, which really makes me think that the chance of Governor Newsom giving us an exception to the carb exemption for commercial sport fishing boats for passengers is pretty unlikely. I would give it a 5% chance or less move. The petition is going to be held in November, so obviously we all want to keep sport fishing going here. There's a lot of things about this program that were not well thought out and don't really make sense. So please make sure you check out savefishing.com and sign the petition and help get this thing turned around. But we all got to do our part. Not saying we're going to get our way, but at least make your voice heard, and hopefully there'll be enough voices heard for them to do something about it. Looking at our weather, we're finally getting into this fall mode here, and unfortunately this first wind event was a pretty nasty one. Came pretty early in October, which is pretty atypical. Usually you see this type of thing happen in the beginning of November, and it gave us a pretty good whack out there, that's for sure. But we do have some warmer weather coming into this weekend. It's supposed to be a lighter Santa Ana condition. Not really shown on the wind charts so much, but at least as this thing works through, it's going to warm up a bit. And let's take a look at our current wind conditions. Offshore is still looking a little bit bumpy over the next couple days. It's definitely a lot better than what it was. But inshore seems to be pretty nice this weekend. So if you're looking to get out, stay close to home, we get some pretty good wind conditions. And we'll get talking about where we're supposed to be looking for this stuff here in just a minute. But see, this is the type of October wind conditions we're supposed to be having. And we didn't quite get that last week. But oh well, it is what it is. Mother Nature always wins. So speaking of those conditions, 17foot.com, make sure you check out your local marine conditions. And if you just select your county at the top here, it'll hop down and put all this data for you in one place, which makes it really easy to look at. So you can see we got some outside swell still happening. Inside, tides, surface winds, cloud cover, all the good stuff. And then inshore and offshore marine conditions. So inshore still looking pretty good here. And offshore. So this is going out to San Clemente Island. This does not include the Outer Banks, but you have an idea what they look like. Still northwest 3 to 4 feet at 8 seconds. This evening, tomorrow, still 2 to 4, 8 seconds. So still got some bump left over on it, but this is going to clean up, and that should help us out here. But for all of you that are wondering over the weekend if your trip got canceled and is blowing, well, if you want us to know what the conditions look like, you can always pull up your local buoys off 17foot.com. Right at the top of the page, it tells you where everything is, and all the information is here. This is the current wind speed right now, 17 knots, gust to 21. Here's our height on our waves, but you can tell we made it to 20 feet at Tanner Bank. So I think it was like 20 feet at 9 seconds. I mean, that's some nasty, nasty stuff. Nobody's going to be out there unless you want to die. So there's that. Quick look at our charts. Oh, man. Unfortunately, our chlorophyll charts are not happening so well. The 1 day, at least for the sea surface temperature, you can see what really happened here. So this is where we were. And this is where we are now. So pretty nasty turned over water. Went from 69 degrees out here to 62 at Tanner. So things are not looking good out here. A couple boats checked this stuff out today, which I think is still way too early to be checking it out. There was one little pocket of warmer water, allegedly on the west side. That was 64. But things are not looking good for the Outer Banks. And if anything, once this bait gets back together and these fish line up, hopefully they've moved over to this edge over here, a little bit closer to home. But hard to say, still too early with guys poking around what it really looks like yet. And I would wait till further into the weekend, let some of this water clean up here. The chlorophyll chart is not cooperating, and not too much to say about it because this website is free and you can't complain about anything free. So, but for some reason it keeps lopping this corner off, and the 8-day is not accurate. So that's not a real look. This is the NOAA website. Oh, I had this thing up here. That's a bummer. There we go. This is the NOAA website. This is today's. So you can see how yellow and red this stuff is. This water's really turned over in green. Not the clearest picture here with all the little high spots marked, but it gives you an overall idea of what things look like, and it's not particularly good. So unfortunately, this is what happens when fall comes. But using the 1 day chart here, let's get into the fishing. You can go ahead and scratch off San Clemente Island. No one has looked at there since the blow. Haven't heard anything. I wouldn't expect much other than green turned over water. And the same would go for Catalina. The only difference at Catalina is I heard that there's some squid that's moved in on the backside in the usual spots. Salto Verde, the V's, Silver Canyon. And usually when that happens, the predators are not far from behind. So we still have some warmer water over here. Let's keep an eye on this. Let's see what happens this week. Hopefully some of that action will pick up. And going further south, as I mentioned on the other chart over here, all this water is disgustingly green and turned over. So any fishing in the Coronados, 101, in this inshore stuff, the 9, this is all going to be green and turned over. At least we still got some 67-degree water here, but we need to let this thing settle out just a little bit and clean up. A couple boats did poke around today. Found some kelp patty fish, 302, 371, 230 area. So there's hope, but we just need to see what happens over the next couple of days. Unfortunately, I can't give you top the chart information until the fish start to cooperate either. So we'll see what happens. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. If you choose to go out and poke around, make sure you drop us a note. If I hear anything, I will leave extra fish info in the comment section. So that's it. Take care, guys. Cheers. If you like what you saw today, you can subscribe to our channel or follow us along on Instagram and Facebook. And always remember, share the stoke.